Alright, so here's the review sheet for your final exam. If you complete this and turn it in on the day of the final, you get 10 points added to whatever grade you earn on your final, up to 100. That's the highest that we can type in. So for this first problem, solve for x. This is an equation. You could put the left side in y1 and the right side in y2. I do that. Y equals, we put 5, parentheses, x plus 2, and then 3x minus 7. Let's see, where are they the same? Okay, I don't see it on here. So if I do second, trace 5, wait for it. The intersection is at negative 8.5. So I couldn't see it because it was a decimal or a fraction or not a whole number. Let's just check my answer by doing the work. So if you don't have a calculator at home, you're going to first distribute this 5 because we have a number outside of parentheses. So we get 5x plus 10 equals 3x minus 7. Okay, you can't have x's on both sides, so I'm going to subtract the 3x, subtract the 3x. So 2x plus 10 equals a negative 7. Bring that over here. So 2x plus 10 equals a negative 7. All right. Did I say something wrong? Okay, so we're going to subtract 10, subtract 10. So 2x equals a negative 17. Divide by 2, divide by 2. Got my calculator, negative 17 divided by 2. So x equals negative 8.5. So whether you do it by hand or you do it in the calculator, you'll get the same answer. All right, find the slope of the line containing those 2 points. So for slope, we either have slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I like to put them in a table. So we have 7, negative 5, and 2, 3. You could also use stat on your calculator. Oh, let me lock this. Sorry, it's going in and out. So to get from negative 5 to 3, 3 minus a negative 5, that's 8. 7 to 2, that's minus 5. 2 minus 7, so I'm taking y2 minus y1. x2 minus x1. The change in y goes on top, so 8 over negative 5. And that is your slope. The slope of the line, y equals 2x plus 3, is, slope is the number in front of your x, your m value. So that's just 2. The line, x equals negative 7, has a, let's see, hoi lux. Anytime you have a line x equals, it has undefined slope. Write an equation of a line that is parallel. Parallel means same slope. So to find the same slope, I first have to solve for y. Isolate other side, so minus 2x minus 2x. You write it side by side, and then divide by 3. So y equals 9 divided by 3 is 3. Negative 2 divided by 3, so negative 2/3 x. Parallel means same, so I want to keep this part the same. So y equals negative 2/3 x. And it has to have a different y-intercept. So it doesn't matter what it is as long as it's not 3. So I'm just going to say plus 400. Because it's something completely random. Alright, what slope is perpendicular? So for perpendicular, it's the opposite reciprocal. So double flip. Okay, so we isolate other side, so minus 2x minus 2x. We wrote them side by side, divide by 3. So y equals 15 divided by 3 is 5 minus 2/3 x. So this is the part that we need to double flip. Instead of negative, we make it positive, and instead of 2 over 3, we make it 3 over 2. And that's your answer. Write an equation of a line that is parallel, so same slope, and different y-intercept. So to have the same slope, I first have to find the slope. So here's a point, here's a point. I'm going up 1 over 1, 2, 3. Let me just make sure. Up 1, 1, 2, 3. Up 1, 1, 2, 3. Yep, so it's a 1/3 is the slope. I want to keep that the same. So y equals 1/3 x. And the y-intercept can't be -1, but it can be anything other than that. So again, I'm going to pick 400, just something random. Write the inequality that's graphed to the right. So if you're using Slim Shady, okay, this right here is shaded above. Any point is above. So it's going to be this symbol, and it is a solid line, so you need to include that. So greater than or equal to. Now I need to find the slope. So let's find 2 points. Here's a point, here's a point. So I'm going up 1, 2, over 1. Let's just make sure. Up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. Yep, it works all the way through. So my slope is 2 next to my x, and my y-intercept is 3. So plus 3. So you need your slope and your y-intercept to write an equation in slope-intercept form. Lowe's Theater sold a total of 500 tickets. So that means something plus something's 500. Let A represent the number of adult tickets sold at $6 each. Anytime you see each, it goes next to a variable. So this is 6A. And C represent the number of children's tickets sold at $3 each. So this is 3C. And the total was $2,700. So we have two totals, a total of 500 and a total of 2,700. So money, money, money. So we've got 3C because that's money. We've got 6A because that's money. And it equals 2,700 because that's money. And then just for the number of tickets, it's just C plus A equals 500. What is the solution to the system? Okay, so to find a solution, it's the point of intersection. So I can find that looking on my calculator if I plug this equation in and this equation in. So 4x minus 3 and 2x plus 1. This is going to be a point of intersection. Here it is. So because it's a point, you want an x and a y value. So the solution is 2, 5. If you don't have a calculator at home, you could do this by setting them equal to each other. So 4x minus 3 equals 2x plus 1. Let me scoot over so you can see me. So just like we did on the first problem, you can't have x's on both sides. So let's subtract the 2x, subtract the 2x. So 2x minus 3 equals 1. Add the 3, add the 3. So 2x equals 4. Divide by 2, divide by 2. So x equals 2. So that's the x value. To find the y value, you just plug it back in. So 2 times 2 plus 1. 2 times 2 is 4. And 4 plus 1 is 5. So my x value is 2, my y value is 5. Alright, what is the product of this? Okay, so I have a number outside of parentheses, so I'm going to distribute that number first. So 2x plus 14. You only distribute it to the first parentheses. Now, I have a binomial times a binomial. Anytime you have a binomial times a binomial, you have to use the box. So we have 2x plus 14 and 3x minus 4. 3x times 2x, 3 times 2 is 6, x times x is x squared. 3x times 14, so 3 times 14 is 42, and it has an x. 2x times a negative 4 is a negative 8, and then x. Negative 4 times 14 is a negative 56. You can combine by adding, see the little plus sign right there, the diagonal. So our final answer is 6x squared. 42 minus 8x is 34x, and then minus 56. We can check our answer to make sure we simplified it correctly by taking the problem in y1. So we put 2 parentheses x plus 7 parentheses 3x minus 4. And then the answer in y2. So 6x squared plus 34x minus 56. And on our table, everything should be the same. Same. So yes, I did it correctly. Alright, same thing goes for this one. We're multiplying binomial times a binomial. So I'm going to use the box. X plus 4, x minus 5. X times x is an x squared. X times 4 is 4x. X times a negative 5 is negative 5x. Negative 5 times 4 is a negative 20. Add the diagonal. So our first term is an x squared. Negative 5 plus 4 is a negative 1x. And then minus 20. We can check our answer. We go to y equals. So we have x plus 4, x minus 5, and in y2 we got an x squared minus 1x minus 20. Same, all the way down. Fantastic. What is the product of x plus 9 squared? Anytime you see a square, that means write it twice. So this is actually x plus 9 times x plus 9. Or think about a square. What do we know about squares? Both sides are the same. So we've got an x plus 9 here and an x plus 9 here. X times x is x squared. X times 9 is 9x. X times 9 is 9x. And 9 times 9 is 81. Add the diagonal. Add it. So we get x squared. 9x plus 9x is 18x plus 81. So let's check our answer. So we have parentheses x plus 9 squared. That's the original problem. In y2 we have x squared plus 18x plus 81. Same. Fantastic. Write the expression that's equivalent. So again, we are multiplying using the box. We just love that box. Hope you're good at it. So 3x minus 4, 2x plus 1. 3x times 2x is 6x squared. 2x times a negative 4 is a negative 8x. 3x times 1 is 3x. 1 times a negative 4 is a negative 4. We're going to add the diagonal. So we get 6x squared. 3x plus a negative 8x is a negative 5x. And then minus 4. So let's check our answer. So we have parentheses 3x minus 4, parentheses 2x plus 1. Then we have 6x squared minus 5x minus 4. Same. Fantastic. Factor completely. Now we're doing the opposite of the box, which if you're not good at doing the opposite, then you could always just FOIL out the answer choices, because you will have answer choices. Or you could put the original in y1 and your answer choices in y2. But I'm going to make sure that we review how to do it. So you draw your box, and now they're giving us the inside instead of the two outsides, because we don't have those parentheses. So the first box is your first term, so the x squared. The last term goes in the last box right there. This just has a 1 in front. So 1 times 2 is 2. And that's what we need to find the factors of. Well, the only factors are 1 and 2, or it could be negative 1 and negative 2. So which one adds up to give me a positive 3? It's right here. So 1x and 2x go in the diagonal. And then you're going to take out as much as you can the greatest common factor out of each row and column. So x squared and 2x both have an x in common. A 1x and a 2. They don't have anything in common besides 1. X squared and 1x, that's an x. 2x and a 2 both have a 2. So the sides are your factors. So x plus 1 and x plus 2. Let's check our answer. So you put the original, x squared plus 3x plus 2. And then you put your answers. So x plus 1, x plus 2. Same, 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 same. Fantastic. Alright, so now we're factoring. This is actually a dot, it's a difference of two squares. I could tell that because there were two terms, and 16, I know my perfect squares is a perfect square, and 25 is a perfect square. So we do have a shortcut for these, or you could use the box like we already had. I'll do both of those, okay? So my shortcut is just take the square root of each side. So the square root of 16 is 4 times 4, right? So 4. A squared is a times a. A 25 is a 5 times a negative 5. So my factors are 4a plus 5 and then 4a minus 5. And that's your answer. Now, if you don't remember the shortcut, we could put it in the box. In the first box is a 16a squared. In the last box is a negative 25. Okay, we have to find the factors of 16 times negative 25, your a times your c. So let's see what that is. 16 times a negative 25 is a negative 400. And I know I need these terms to cancel out because there's nothing that they add up to. There's no middle term. So to find your factors, you can take negative 400, whatever number you want, divided by x. And I'm going to need them to cancel out. So what two numbers would cancel out? 16 minus 25? Nope, that's not 0. Ooh, 20 minus 20. Does that equal 0? Yes, it does. So I'm going to put a 20x and a negative 20x. Okay, both of these numbers are divisible by 5. Both of these numbers are divisible by 4. Oh, and these are a's. That's my bad. Okay, so 4x or a, either way. Both of those numbers are divisible by 4, and they have an x. Both of those have a negative, and they are divisible by 5. So my answers are 4x plus 5 and a 4x minus 5. If we wanted to check our answer, the original is 16x squared minus 25. And my factors are 4x plus 5 and 4x minus 5. Same, 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 same. Factor completely. We're factoring again. In the first box, we've got a 2x squared. In the last box, we've got a negative 12. First term here, last term here. 2 times a negative 12 is a negative 24. Our factors of negative 24 that add up to a 5. So we'll go to y equals negative 24 divided by x. And I want them to add to give me a positive 5. So we've got a 12 and a negative 2. That's a positive 10. 8 minus 3. Yeah, that's 5. So I have 8x minus 3x. It doesn't matter which one goes where. I could have put the 8x here and the minus 3 here. Negative 3 and a negative 12, they both have a negative, and I can divide them both by 3. 2x and 8x, I can take out a 2 and an x. 2x squared minus 3x, I can only take out an x. 8x and a negative 12, I can divide them both by 4. So my factors, I've got a 2x minus 3, and I have an x plus 4. So let's check our answer. So go to y equals, and I'm going to type in 2x squared plus 5x minus 12. And then in y2, I put my answer choice. So 2x minus 3 and x plus 4. Same, 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 same. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to factor another one. First term in the first box, so 4x squared. Last term in the last box, that's a 9. 4 times 9, 36. And I'm going to find my factors of 36 that add to give me a negative 12. So 36, that's times, divided by x. And we know we want a negative number, so I'm going to go up to the negatives. Negative 2 and negative 18, that's negative 20. Negative 3, negative 12, negative 15, negative 4, negative 9, negative 6, negative 6. Those combine to give me a negative 12. So negative 6x, negative 6x. Both of these are divisible by a 2 and an x. It starts with a negative, so you pull it out, and both of those are divisible by 3. I can take out a 2 and an x. It starts with a negative, so you pull it out, and 6 and 9 are both divisible by 3. So my factors are 2x minus 3 and 2x minus 3. This is actually a perfect square trinomial because this side is the same as this side. So if you remember that, you could have taken the square root and the square root. 4 breaks into 2 and 2. X squared breaks into x and x. And the square root of 9 is either 3 times 3 or 3 times a negative 3. Or negative 3 times negative 3. And because we want a negative 12, they would have both been negative 3. Let's check our answer. So 4x squared minus 12x plus 9. And in y2, 2x minus 3, 2x minus 3. Same, 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 same. I'm going to do 2 more with you so we can get through 20, which is, I thought it was half, 50. Okay, so 19, we're factoring again. So we're going to put the first term in the first box, so the x squared, last term in the last box, so a negative 12. 1 times negative 12 is a negative 12, so that's what I'm going to find the factors of. 1 and negative 12. 2 and negative 6, 3 and negative 4, and we want them to add to a negative 4. 2 minus 6, so we've got a 2x minus 6x. These can take out the negative, and they're both divisible by 6. These you can take out the x. These you can divide them both by x, and these you can divide them both by 2. So my factors are x plus 2 and x minus 6. We check our answer. We have x squared minus 4x minus 12. 2, we have x plus 2 and x minus 6. Yes, all of those are the same, so that's your answer. Here, GCF. Greatest common factor. What can I take out of both of those terms? The same thing you've been doing in the box every time. 6 and x and a 15 are both divisible by 3. This doesn't have an x, so I can't take it out. It's only the 3. Divide. When you're dividing, you just cancel out anything that's in common. There's an x plus 3 up here and an x plus 3 down here. So all we're left with is 2 times 2x minus 1. And that's your answer. We're going to go ahead and stop it there, and then we will finish it in another video.